Welcome back, everyone. Pal Ponder on Weather here with another update. Merry Christmas Eve. Hope everyone having a safe and happy holidays and spending time with the family and staying warm because it's definitely been cold out there. In fact, we're going to be seeing some rapid changes this week with much warmer conditions building and another storm system out west. And we could be talking more severe storms building as we head towards the end of the year. So this morning, about 91% of you are waking up to a freeze on your Christmas Eve as that cold air will continue to move out east. Now it's all the way off the coast and even all the way down into Florida. Even Orlando is experiencing a freeze this morning. So everyone is wrapped up into the cold air now. In fact, some of you have actually experienced some nearing, if not record-breaking cold this morning for your daily cold temperatures across the central and eastern two-thirds of the U.S. So I appreciate all my followers out there. But if you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns on North America, hit the subscribe button and you're in. You get all my daily content. And it's also important to like this video. It definitely helps out more than you know. So let's really break this thing down for you, because we've been talking about this low pressure center that really raked all the heavier winds that left all the power outages across the U.S. and then the very heavy snow that left in its wake too, and then all the colder temperatures. But now here's the low pressure well up there into Canada. In fact, it's well north of Toronto right now, and even into Quebec as it rapidly deepens. All these areas, these are your current wind chills. So you're still experiencing that very Arctic air up there into the east. But as this storm system will continue to crank and deepen, it's really going to bring some of that heavier snows. But on the backside, you're in a perfect alignment for all that heavier lake effect snow across the lakes, and even into Buffalo. It's just getting crushed again with basically white out conditions. It is horrendous out there in Buffalo, and they've already experienced in several feet of snow, but they're going to be adding to those totals in a big way. We could be looking at another 3 feet as this has no let up in sight, and it's just training snow over that same area, picking up those a little bit warmer lakes. Still they're not frozen all the way solid, so it's still taking advantage of that and dumping it inland. And man, they're going to be really looking at some significant totals by the time this thing is done. So, but for the rest of the country, we've been talking about this Siberian cold plunging all the way down into Mexico, and look how far south it went. There's the cold front today. Man, it went all the way into Cuba. This thing was pretty massive, and it had a lot of cold air in its wake. And there's the snow still up here into Michigan, into Toronto there, dumping some of that heavier snows. And of course, right along the lakes, they're still going to be dealing with that lake effect snow for today. But out here in the Northwest, they got that ice concern they're still dealing with all that ice that fell yesterday. And it's still treacherous to drive up there into the Pacific Northwest, as we're going to be watching a warming trend really start to build out west with those warmer anomalies coming back in. So as we transfer into your Christmas morning, there's about still another 88% of you are going to be waking up to a freeze, as the cold is still locked in as of right now. And a lot of you will still be waking up to a freeze on Christmas morning with those below zero temperatures up here into north central U.S., waiting for yet another potential storm system that's going to be creeping down from there. So we could be looking at another area, not a huge event, but still some more snow showers are going to be moving back in parts of the Dakotas, into Minnesota, portions of Iowa here. Illinois could be picking up another inch or two of snow as it continues to move. I think it gets as far south as potentially Kentucky, maybe down into portions of Missouri. You can see the dividing line with all the colder air essentially into the central and eastern two-thirds, the warmer air out west. And then all the way up into our northwest, there is a pocket of a little bit colder air. And that's why they're seeing some of those ice concerns up there. So, as we get into the day after Christmas, that same storm system will continue to move across into the Ohio Valley. This whole area could have the potential to see some snow. It looks a little bit more significant than what it will be. But these areas, don't be surprised if you see some snow as you get into the day after Christmas there. But all eyes will be starting to turn out west. It's because we have another significant storm system really going to be building and heading in off the west coast, and that's actually going to be bringing some heavier rains back in the picture for Northern California, as it looks to be another several day event as very heavy rainfall will enter back in the picture out west with this rapidly deepening low pressure center. And this is going to be packing its winds as well, bringing a wall of water out west. So especially along the coast here into Washington and Oregon, as we get into your Tuesday, that very heavy rain transfers down into Northern California, gets into Central California, and we could be looking at some fairly significant totals. And look at the low pressure. I mean, we're down to a 962 millibar low pressure. This is going to have a lot of intense winds with it as well. But the more important thing, very beneficial rain. But this could be too much, because we're looking at, they already have slight risk of excessive rainfalls all the way down here in the coast of the Washington and Oregon, especially Northern California. But by the time we get into Tuesday afternoon, heading into Wednesday and Thursday, that rain showers will be down into Central and Southern California by then, and then eventually start creeping into the deserts. So if you look at the overall temperature anomalies, as we get into your Tuesday afternoon, yeah, there's the temperature gradient, right? So we're still socked into the cold into our eastern 2/3 of the country. Out west, we're going to be still in the warmer, more well above average temperatures. But these temperatures will slowly creep little by little each day as we get towards the end of the year. So eventually, by the time we get into your New Year's Eve, much of the country will be experiencing above average temperatures. So, but out west, again, they're going to be dealing with all that heavier rain with that storm system coming in. In fact, by the time we get into Tuesday afternoon, we could be looking at precipitable water amounts, 400 to 500% above average, what you would typically see this time of year. So that's definitely an indication of some very heavy rainfall moving into the picture into Central California. And again, that will creep down into Southern California. So if you take it from Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday and your overall precipitable anomalies, yeah, we're looking at 300 to 400% above average precipitation, especially along the coast. This could be looking some significant totals up here into the coastlines of Washington and Oregon, getting into Northern California. But still, you're going to get several inches of rain even down into Central and Southern California. And there's also going to be another pocket of energy down here in Arizona. Places like into Phoenix could be looking at a couple of inches of rainfall by the time we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday time frame of the week ahead, while most of the central and eastern 2/3 start to kind of dry out, but all that system's kind of heading your way. So, but look at the winds with that storm system that's coming in out west. There's right now, you're still going to be winding down from the storm system that you're dealing with, that upper level low that's well up here into Canada. You're still getting that backside wind, so you're still very intense winds off the lakes there. That's why they have those blizzard warnings still in effect up there. But this is that second system that we're highlighting out west, with very intense winds going to be coming in off the coastline there. So batten down the hatches, because these winds could be really packing a punch as well. 50, 60, upwards to 70 miles an hour along the coast, as this very unsettled weather will impact the west this week. So, but as we get into Tuesday, take a look at the overall water vapor imagery. This is going to be bringing copious amounts of rain back into Southern California, and this will eventually creep into Arizona as well, as we have yet another 969 millibar low pressure going to be coming in off the west coast. That's going to be bringing all those intense winds. And so by the time we get into Friday, you can see the jet stream. The jet stream really dips, and we've seen this movie before, right? The further it dips down here in the Baja, the more moisture it's going to be able to tap into off that subtropical jet. And the further it gets as well south, the more intense it could be by the time the winds turn around. And as the winds turn around, that's why you're going to increase the temperatures, because this time of year, it's all about wind direction. So once these winds turn around from the south, it pulls in that Gulf moisture. It pulls in, starts increasing the temperatures day by day. And then eventually we could be looking at some potentially severe storms by the time we get into your Thursday, heading into Friday, maybe even potentially Saturday time frame. So let's break this thing down for you, because look at the dew points. I mean, I showed you those crazy extreme low dew points that you dealt with this week or just last week with that Arctic air mass, right? But as you head into Thursday, Friday time frame, as the south winds kick in, it brings back the moisture. So now we're talking dew points in the 60s, all the way up here into Texas, into Louisiana and Mississippi. That even creeps into Arkansas. I mean, dew points rising all the way in the 50s into Missouri, getting into Illinois. That puts you more or less in the moist sector. Anytime you get 55-degree dew point or higher, you're going to be susceptible for some stronger storms. And that's what we could be looking at by the time we get into Thursday. So here's your potential Thursday setup. We're going to be fine-tuning this as we get closer, but this right now looks to be the area of concern for some stronger storms, if not some severe storms, as we head into your Thursday, and that will slowly creep out a little bit further east as we head into Friday. So this is kind of your favorite area for seeing some stronger storms, if not some severe storms, on your Friday, the 30th, and then going into New Year's Eve on your Saturday. Again, it moves just a little bit further off into the east, and then we could be looking at this pocket of air that could be looking at some stronger storms as that system slowly moves from the west to the east. So if we break this thing down for you on Thursday, again, we're going to have well above average temperature anomalies. So most of this snow is going to be in the higher elevations in the mountains, but definitely heavier rains into California. That swings into portions of Arizona. And there's the setup as we get into your Thursday. We're starting to be seeing some rain showers again, back into the Houston area, back into Arkansas here, through portions of Louisiana. And I think that just intensifies as that jet gets a little bit closer, pulls in more Gulf moisture. So some of these areas could be looking at some severe storms, if not some heavier rain to start breaking out by the time we get into your Friday time frame. And there's the setup by Thursday night into Friday with the lightning display where it could be. So again, we'll fine tune the exact setup, but it looks to be some severe storms potentially heading into North Texas again, East Texas, Oklahoma, portions of Arkansas, and this will just continue to swing a little bit further east, heading into your New Year's Eve. By the time we get into your 31st time frame, that's the area of concern that we'll be looking at for some severe storms, as most of the cold air, all this is warmer than average air. Most of any snow by then will be well to the north, up there in potentially parts of the Dakotas again, into portions of Minnesota. But there's the temperatures going into your New Year's Eve. So yeah, plenty warm to end 2022 with 70s along the south here and 60s creeping. And look at that, 61 degrees in Illinois. So it rapidly warms up, and a big change of what you're seeing now than over the next 7 days. So it's a step up process. And it'll slowly lift a little bit warmer each day as we get towards the end of the year. But there's your overall snow for the next 7 days. Most of this is very heavy snow, is what's happening right now, from now until essentially tomorrow, with that low pressure center dumping all the heavier snows up there into Ontario, into Ottawa, into Quebec, And then along the lakes could be picking up some very intense snow. And this is the storm system that comes in for Christmas and the day after Christmas across the middle of the country that could bring some more snow for this region. And this is all, Intermountain West snow and the higher elevations that's going to be coming in next week. So here's your overall rain for between now and the end of the year. And this is very significant totals. Look at your graph on the left-hand corner of the screen. All these areas in orange, easily 5 inches, 7 inches, if not 10 inches of rainfall just in the next 7 days from that storm system. But as we creep further down into the coast in California, still some pretty decent amounts of 1 to 2, if not sporadic, isolated 3 inches down there in Southern California, getting into Arizona, into Utah, into Idaho here, into Colorado, portions of New Mexico. And this is the severe storms, stronger storms, Thursday, Friday, Saturday time frame. So this is the area of concern that we'll be looking out for some stronger storms by then. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video, definitely leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch the latest update where I protect you before and after storms.